how close are things to actually going down? Well, it seems on the Rockets front, things are not that close. Here is ESPN's Tim McMahon, who's about as plugged in as it gets when it comes to national media talking Rockets, talking about discussions between the two with Brian Windhorst.
I know like I'm best sourced in Houston. I think they would really like to have Kevin Durant at what they consider to be a reasonable cost, which I don't think the Suns would consider to be an appealing return.
More from Windhorst today. The Phoenix Suns are not excited about the current offers they're receiving from the Rockets, Heat, and Spurs. That was reported by Brian Windhorst. So that could work out in all three teams' favor. The market's not what the Suns want. It does feel like, even though the Suns do not want to give up Durant as a discount, as Windhorst said just a moment ago, that they ultimately may be forced to take less than they want.
Yeah, he might just not have a robust market just because, A, the age, the fact he'll likely need a new contract. He has 1 year remaining, and from all reports would like to go somewhere where he would get a contract extension. So it's very easy for him to pick at least one of three teams that he could play for by saying, I will not sign an extension with you. And in turn, that team now is like, well, we're not giving up that much for 1 year of a guy.
Right.
So he can kind of steer it a little bit that way. And that's how the Suns won't be impressed by what they get, because there's not a bidding war, really.
Right, exactly.
It's three teams that have leverage over the Suns.
There is one other team that I guess is sniffing around, and get this, Kevin Durant said, nope. Shams Charania reported about 40 minutes ago, Kevin Durant has no desire to be in Minnesota with the Timberwolves.
Yeah, not great. Or not great for the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Yeah, that's got to be frustrating if you're the Wolves, because it does feel like maybe Durant helps you get closer than he helps any of these other teams. San Antonio is still not a playoff contender, at least right now. 1:53 p.m. on June 16th. The Rockets say they bring in Durant. Great. But are they then on Minnesota's level because they have that extra offensive piece? Are they better than Minnesota? Maybe, but that's certainly not a fact. It's debatable and would require Durant to stay healthy too. So that sucks for Minnesota. I think if Minnesota brought in Durant, I do think that puts them a little bit closer to potentially going further than they went the last 2 years, where I think you would definitely argue that they were disappointing now that it's happened back-to-back seasons, that they were out as early as they were, even if the Thunder were not losing to anybody along the way.
Yeah, it is just disappointing where you lose in the same round back-to-back years. Like that just in general is disappointing. But you're right that they are the best team, or at least the team most that's most positioned for immediate success after a Durant trade, and that's the one that he's not as interested in.
They need help for Anthony Edwards. I mean, that's like they need somebody else.
Yeah, they need another guy. They need either Randall to be better, or they need a guy to be better than Randall.
Right. I don't think you're going to get a lot much. You're going to get a lot more out of Randall, and Gobert is a defensive weapon. He is not
an offensive weapon.
He's not going to help you out.
He's terrible on offense. He's like bad on offense.
He's one of the worst offensive players in the league.
Yeah.
So that's the latest on Kevin Durant. It doesn't feel like the Rockets are any closer to bringing him in.
It doesn't feel like anyone's that much closer. Like, I guess we have a top three is what I would say, is that we have a three-team race,
right?
To me, unless one of these teams that aren't a preferred destination by Durant, unless one of these other teams come, bleep it. Let's make it happen no matter what. Even if we do get them for 1 year, like we're willing to put together an offer that could beat what Houston wants to give up, because it seems like Houston can make this deal happen whenever it wants. It does seem like Houston's really playing hardball here.
They should. I wonder what the offer is. It
Yeah,
seems like Jalen Green's involved, given that in some of the reporting about the trade talks, this from Hoops Hype, Phoenix has done background on Jalen Green to gauge his value around the league in case Green is acquired, and it's worthwhile to flip him again via trade. Wow.
yeah,
Okay, Phoenix.
it's very funny. That to me is interesting that they're not the Windhorse is saying that they're not wowed by their the offers that they're receiving. With the speculation for what the Houston package is, there has to be a mismatch there. Like there's one part that's not correct, that Rockets fans are like, oh my God, there's not a chance in the world we would give up Jalen Green, Jabari Smith, the 10th pick, and whatever you need to make the salaries work. Like that is a draft haul that, or the trade haul that seems to have, I'm not going to say zero, has like 20% approval rating among Rockets fans. But on the same side, for the Suns, they're like, we're not enthused by this offer. So either they don't like Green, or that one of the reporting isn't, up to snuff. Like maybe that's not what what the Rockets are actually offering. They might be offering a worse package than that one.
That makes sense. I really want to see what these offers are.
I would love if
Very funny tweet from Adam Spillane. It wouldn't surprise me if the Rockets refused to put any picks on the table for Durant. I have a feeling the Durant offers Phoenix is getting are horrible. And it does make sense because everyone thinks their owner's an idiot.
Yeah. I would love some sort of service, or like, you remember the Disney Vault back in the day with like the Disney like VHSs, like they would
Yeah.
just stop making them, so it
Yeah.
goes in the Disney Vault, and it's like how you create scarcity for the 1950s cartoons that they made.
Right, exactly.
I would love if there's some sort of like trade offers vault where after, because it's all personality driven, like you can't say it right
Yes.
at like, hey, this was our offer for Durant and we lost. I would love though, after 5 years, they open up the vault and they're like, here's what we offered the the Suns for
A
Durant.
log. I just want a log of
Yeah.
every trade offer, every phone call.
Like, here's what they turned down.
As soon as the person is fired, I want to see all of it.
Yeah.
Immediately after they're
Yeah.
fired.
Because I would love to know what Rafael Stone is offering.
Yeah.
If he's not offering any first round picks.
It would be really funny if it's just a terrible offer. If he's offering Jeff Green, it just says Jay Green. Oh, yeah. Trust me. Trust me. Jay Green.
Yeah. So we got Green in the deal.
Yeah,
Yep.
Green's in here. That would be so funny. If Stone did that, I would actually, I'd gain a lot of respect for him. By the way, I'm getting more and more respect for him by the day. Big news for the Rockets over the weekend. They did not go and get the big name everyone was excited for, but they did bring back someone who was, first of all, just incredibly important to this team down the stretch, complete with some really important minutes in the playoffs against the Golden State Warriors, but also someone who I just don't know how you can't root for this guy, really. Among players in the league that are not traditional stars, I do not know how someone can't love Steven Adams. And perhaps I am someone who has fallen hook, line, and sinker for the Steven Adams fun fact account, but oh my, it is awesome. It's very funny. They find the best stats that make Steven Adams look like he's Shaq.
Yeah.
Vintage Dwight Howard, who did have some good numbers back in the day.
He was awesome in Orlando.
I'm just talking about players that you put up on a pedestal as far as the best big men ever. Hakeem Olajuwon. This specific account on X, formerly known as Twitter, will make you think that Steven Adams is the second coming. And he is back with the Rockets after signing over the weekend a 3-year, $39 million contract. Important to note, and this is from Adam Spillane, it is looking like the Rockets will be paying into the luxury tax for the first time during the Tillman Fertitta era, which is also a sign that, one, they clearly know what they are, which is a contender. And two, tip of the hat to Tillman.
Yeah.
Who in the past has seemed a little frugal.
Yeah, it definitely, it's a I don't know. It's a good gesture, I guess. It's a good sign of things to come as far as that goes, where they won't be a team that will be blown up by the luxury tax, even though like I thought he got kind of a bad rap when he first took over the team and didn't pay the tax. Like I kind of get it, but also 2019, like they weren't winning anything. You kidding me? I think that Steven Adams coming back going to be big for this year's Rockets team, and I'm willing to say even next year's Rockets, the 25, 26, 26, 27 seasons. The third year, that might be a little bit of, hey, you got to give them the third year to get the job done, to get the deal done, and by that point, $13 million because it's 13 per year. But I believe that they set this up to be front loaded. So it'll be $11 million in the third year. And $11 million in today's league is not that much money.
It's not.
And in 3 years from now, it's going to be even less money to get off of. Let's just say Adams is like aging out of being a playoff guy for you. By that point, like the downside's so low to me. So I think this is a great deal. I think that, like you said, it's great that they're going to pay the tax now,
Yeah.
and it's their team. I guess didn't get better because they're bringing back someone, but they're not getting worse by
Right.
making this move.
I was a little concerned they might lose Adams.
Yeah.
And they brought him back. Fred VanVleet also probably going to be back. We have yet to see that official.
Yeah, very likely he'll either opt in or he'll opt out with an extension in mind.
Right.